webinar. All right. We live. We right here on YouTube in these mean YouTube streets. Today, look, we have something special for you guys. This all came about with a meme, well, not a meme, with the post from Meme Knowledge. Let me see. What does it say? It says Meme Knowledge network bandwidth is low. So your bandwidth is low, Meme Knowledge.
Interesting.
And look, friend of the people, what I did was I put best case scenario under yours. I put Meme Knowledge under Prince and Soapbox Heroes under my square, so people will know that we need you guys to tune in to these programs.
Smart.
This is how you
genius.
This is how you spell it. These are the faces associated. We try to get some love out here in the streets. That's why I say the YouTube streets are mean. And look, you guys, I'm gonna take some time. I'm gonna share this over here on Facebook. We got Prince in the gym working out. You know, Prince walking how he talking. I gotta give him that. You know, Prince talk about being healthy, and he's actually healthy. I know a lot of people that talk about being healthy, and then I catch their ass at Burger King with 5 Whoppers.
Catch them at Popeyes. Eating all the chicken sandwiches they can eat.
Oh, not the chicken sandwich. Hey, y'all want to talk about the chicken sandwich too?
On certain days, I'm both guys. Some days I'm that health nut. Other days,
Robert, friend of the people, I'm right there with you. No lie. Sometimes I'm on it, and then sometimes I'm off it. You know what I spend more time off it than on it. That's why I say I gotta commend Prince, because he's the opposite. He spends more time on it than off it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I got a secret though. People don't know this. So my secret is that when I eat bad, I get sick. So it basically forces me, like, because I want to mentally, like, I'll be like, yeah, man, I wish I could just go dip and go eat some fast food, or I wish I could go eat, like, I don't eat bread and, like a gang of stuff like that. And I still, like, don't even eat that for what I think I should be, how I should be eating, but like I don't eat out at all, like every now I go eat like Chipotle rice or something. 99% of the time I make my own food. If I don't, I usually get sick. So it just pretty much like handcuffed me. You know what I mean? In a good way. Like, I look at it now, I'm like, I got lucky kind of. Because if I didn't, who knows what I'd be eating? I'll probably be drinking and everything.
Right. So
hey. That's your super. Right. His superpower is his toxin is fast food. And so he eat fast food. And to me, that's my weakness. When I eat a good fast food, a nice, juicy, greasy burger, I just get sleepy. I don't get sick.
No, you don't get sick immediately. That's the cold thing. I get sick immediately, and I know I can get sick in the long run. You eating it right now, like, I don't get sick right now, but in 20 years, it's gonna be like the doctor gonna be like, oh man, we got to clean out this colon cancer.
Ah, man, damn it. Then he go and do that, Robert. You see? Then he go and do that between sets, taking a nice healthy breath.
Don't you put that evil on me, Rick Bob.
Don't you put that evil on me.
Don't you do that. Oh man, yeah, you guys. I'm sharing it a couple.
Share
it up. Go ahead.
The black man, the black man and colon cancer go together like grits, grits and butter.
Why was I thinking grits and butter before you said that?
We linked at the hip.
Hold on, you guys. Hold on. Hey, cancel them grits.
Cause it's fire.
Cancel them grits. And, hey, I don't want the bacon. And don't bring me a plate of butter. I got Prince on the line. I can't let him know I'm eating this stuff. Oh, I forgot to press mute.
Oh my God.
Like
Oh man.
Around, I don't eat. I don't want to eat nothing bad. Like I be hiding pizza boxes and stuff before she come over.
You hide the pizza box?
Yeah. Nah.
See,
do you, man? Man?
You guilt eat? You can't guilt eat?
I do sometimes, for sure.
Oh man, I didn't call Rob a few times. The fool be like, "Yeah, give me a number 12 with extra onion rings."
Yeah,
nah, y'all can hold the zucchini, fried zucchinis. I'm gonna take the give me the ranch, 2 ranch.
I'm like, damn, bro. Good for you.
You gotta eat. Oh man, look, I'm about to share this to the real
dude. Be like,
hope they take it. Yeah. Hey y'all. So yeah, you guys, look, we might as well get into it. Hey, so look, we are here and we talking about, is Colin Kaepernick a capitalist? And the reason we got into it was because the other day, Meme Knowledge, he posted a quote that Colin Kaepernick left. I don't know if it was a tweet or on Instagram, but it was making a reference to Black capitalism. And my response was, wait a minute, he's a capitalist himself. And from there, we got to thumb thugging it for hours on end. We woke up thumb thugging some more. And I was like, hey, y'all, my thumbs is getting worn out. And I was getting beat up on his computer program. So I said, hey, you guys, let's just do it how we do. This is what we all about anyway. So we here to talk to you guys about it. And I hope anybody that does watch this and come be a part of it, you can be a part of it with an open mind. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what we do. We talk about conversations and topics. And what I do realize is sometimes it's hard to have these conversations, especially if there are people that we like. And I know, and why I enjoy speaking to these gentlemen is because they can always put that to the side and just give the truth about their own convictions based on what it is. And it's like, we like the crew. Let me see. Robert is the analytical one. So Robert is going to stand back and tell us what we did wrong after we do it. Prince is our smart little brother that, you know what I'm saying, might start a fight and he don't care because he know he's smart anyway. And I'm the one that be sitting there like, man, I got to chase these guys again. And so, so we going to get into it. But yeah, so my thing was this. I say, in my opinion, yes, Colin Kaepernick, he is a capitalist. And I think we all have slightly varying opinions on it. But, you know, I think Robert and Prince's opinion is sort of similar. But I did see a few nuances in it. And so here, we might as well pick up from there. Colin Kaepernick, in my opinion, is a capitalist. And let me look. And warning to the people that are watching. Because I'm calling him a capitalist does not mean that I'm saying I hate him. I don't hate him. I'm just saying, in my opinion, he's a capitalist. What do you think, Robert?
Well, first we gotta set a baseline. You know
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What capitalist is.
Okay.
A capitalist, first of all, if you're playing with millions of dollars, you're probably you that doesn't mean you're a capitalist.
Okay.
You have to control the means of production. You have to control, like, let me give you an example. Ray Kroc.
Okay.
He was the CEO of the McDonald's company, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So he owned McDonald's, right? McDonald's, they produce their own fries, they produce their own nuggets, right? They throw them on their own trucks. They have their own shipping lanes, their own logistics. Right? They control everything that it takes to get a burger from there to your mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything. They even have farms that they buy that they don't own the farms themselves.
They subsidize the farms.
Buy the production of these farms. It says exclusively you produce beef for McDonald's. Exclusively you produce potatoes for my French fries. They have the whole thing sold up. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's capitalism. That's what a capitalist is. Now, subsequently, because there are franchise owners, some people own 1, 2, some people own 10 franchises at McDonald's, right? Those guys make millions of dollars because of that capitalist, Ray Kroc.
So you're saying that the only way that you could be a capitalist is if you own means of production? So
the whole definition of capitalism is private ownership of the means of production as an economic system. So in participating in an economic system, there's levels to it. It's like some people are generals, some people are majors, some people are privates. And we're talking about capitalism. Capitalists are the generals in capitalism, the economic system.
All right. And what do you say, Pri? What do you say, Prince?
Yeah, so I 100% agree with his take on it. You have to, you can't, it can't just be something that you like just because you are making money, then you are a capitalist. That doesn't make you a capitalist just because you're making money, because you have to make money in this system. And despite what people like, I feel like what happens is that in this society, because we are starting to wake up to what capitalism really is and how it's really negatively affecting us and impacting us, that a lot of people are trying to flip that narrative and say like, well, we're all capitalists, to make you feel like you're guilty too. And it's like, but like Robert just alluded to, but I don't control anything. So what am I guilty of? Because I went out and bought a hamburger from McDonald's. Am I now contributing to capital? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I need employment and they employ hundreds of thousands of people, and now I work for them. So therefore I'm somehow a capital. Like, no.
Okay.
The people who control it, who control, like you said, the means of distribution, who hire and fire, who could lay off 5,000 people at a time, they're the capitalists. And I would say that there's also, I shared this video a long time ago, but there's also this dope video Stokely Carmichael did back in the 70s where he was talking about capitalism and capitalists. And he even said in it, he said he was, and people shared it in correlation to what Jay-Z did with the NFL. And he was saying in the video, he was like, the capitalist is way up here. Like on the top, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where he pointed to. He's like, the capitalist is up here. Basically, like the everybody else is way down here, and then there's some people right here in the middle, which that would be like a Jay-Z or even a Colin Kaepernick. And he said they want to be capitalists. They think they're capitalists, but they're not. And the reason why they're not is for the same reasons that Robert just pointed out.
Okay, and I hear you. That's what Stokely Carmichael just said. Hold on, let me see something. We'll do this. We'll show. Let me see. Do the screen show what I'm showing right now? Capitalism. All right, so right here, I just typed in the definition for capitalism. Capitalism, a noun, an economic or political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit rather than by the state. And so from right here, it doesn't say that you have to, it's just basically saying that the difference between private ownership making the money and the state not making the money is what capitalism is. And like I said, that was just what I typed right here, the first thing that came up. And I don't know if this is Webster's dictionary
definition
version, but or no, it says from Oxford. And so okay, and so in my opinion, the way that I take this, and let me read it again. It says an economic and political system in which a country's trade and industries are controlled by private owners for profit rather than the state. So basically, that just to me is saying that we live in a capitalistic country, because in this country, private owners collect the money for most of the businesses, the private owned businesses, and not the states. And so like I don't quite agree with you guys' definition. I'm just going to go off of this one. And to me, when it comes to Colin Kaepernick as a capitalist, he also does control. It's hard for me to hear. hold on real quick. I'm gonna mute you. Just unmute yourself when you want to say something, because we just hear the weight slanging in the background. You back there benching that 450 as usual. Prince back there slanging that 500 pounds like it ain't nothing. Yeah, but okay, so yeah, let me get back on track. So when it comes to Colin Kaepernick, these are the reasons. And then look, even going on you guys' definition, Colin Kaepernick is not just an employee. You guys are making it like he's the average McDonald's employee who needs work, going to work at McDonald's. I think capitalism is also being able to capitalize on a situation. He capitalized on situations for money, for profit, and always in every instance, he went for the most profit. To me, when you capitalize on certain situations and you use a means like a cause to capitalize on that situation, that makes you a capitalist. He's controlling the money. He's controlling that industry. He's controlling his brand and not the state. He's a private owner of his brand, Colin Kaepernick.
I think you got it mixed up when you because I know you see that word capitalize in capitalism, like capitalize, but no, really it comes from the term capital, like you got to have money. First of all, so look up the definition of the word capitalist.
That's great. How much money are you going to set as a baseline for having enough money to be a capitalist?
I'm going to look at the definition.
All right,
capitalist.
I think what Robert is saying, well, how I look at that is like, just because you capitalize on a situation monetarily, it doesn't automatically make you a capitalist.
Does it ever?
This is what I'm saying. That you could be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneurs can exist in the socialist state as well. You see where?
Yeah.
Prince, you breaking up bad.
Like, so you don't have to, meaning can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. So meaning if I got some money, right? Or not some money. If I got a product like my friend works at UPS and a box of phones fell off the truck, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna flip these phones. So I take the phones and I sell them at $200 a pop. Am I a capitalist or am I an entrepreneur?
Wait. I'm sorry. You say what? You're selling what at $200 a pop?
So if I have a product, right? It could be anything. It could be T-shirts or pants or whatever, right?
Right.
But I got these pants. I didn't make them. I just got them. Like I you know what I mean? Maybe I bought them from China for $10 and now I'm selling them on the street for $40 a pop or $20 a pop, right? Does that make me a capitalist or does that make me an entrepreneur?
It makes you an entrepreneur practicing capitalism.
But I'm not practicing capitalism because I don't control the means of production. I just bought the product, and that
is your means of production. You're not making them, but your means of production is buying them and selling them. Correct?
No, you have to produce something to actually control the means. So I have to have. If I made the jeans, then
wait. So why is Jay-Z a capitalist then? What does he make?
He makes music.
Intellectual property.
He makes music.
Well, Colin Kaepernick, he's his brand. So he makes what he does with his talent, the things that he's practicing. Even his movement is something that's made by him. Is it not made by him? Did he not start it? Does he not continue it through the tweets and the suggestions and things like that? Is he not producing this result himself?
No. He is.
He's not marketing his own brand. His brand is being marketed by someone else.
Yeah,
he's him, but
he's being him. Yeah,
he's being him, and so his tweets and him having people saying stuff and further the conversation isn't marketing his own brand. Are we not talking about this because of something off of his page? Like, there's more than one way to market your brand. You could do it. You could do it passively, or you could do it right there in your face. I think that Colin Kaepernick does a lot of passive marketing.
But what way creates the money?
What way creates the money? What he's doing is creating the money. What he does,
we create money, or does when Nike makes a commercial and sells a product under his name, does that make money? What makes money? his tweet makes no money. If Colin Kaepernick didn't have
hold on, correction. Let me hold on. That's your opinion. Go ahead.
$0.
Okay, I'll say
he's not getting. Hold on, but Tyrone. What you keep doing is though, you keep assuming a lot of stuff. I'm saying,
what
so
am I
don't make any
assuming?
assumptions.
Tell me
Right
one
now,
assumption.
Right now you just said Robert said the tweet doesn't make money. The tweet doesn't make money. He's not paid to make that tweet. He just tweeted it out. That tweet isn't. Hold on, listen what I'm saying.
Is that an assumption that you're making?
No.
Twitter does pay certain people to tweet. Do they not?
Tweet what?
Anything. You don't think Beyonce get paid to get tweeted? Okay, so you're making an assumption as well. You don't know if he gets paid by tweeting, and that wasn't how I was going to correlate the pay from Twitter. I was going to say the pay comes from keeping people engaged, keeping people involved in what you're doing, keeps attention on you. When you keep attention on you, you can take those numbers to places, and you're worth money. It breaks down to money.
Where's the actual point of sales, though?
The actual point of sale is whatever it keeps you worth more money. So his next speaking event, I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you how it correlates to money. See, you got to see listen, are you talking about money today, or are you talking about the long play on money? Because today, me making money is making money. You're trying to say he's not making money directly off of his tweet. I'm saying
Tyrone, is this.
Mm-hmm.
If you see Colin Kaepernick's tweet and you're like, I want to support this guy with my dollars, where do you take your dollars to support Colin Kaepernick?
You probably buy one of his products.
Products? So who produced that product?
Which ones? The ones that he produces or the ones that Nike produce? Because Colin Kaepernick does have a line of shirts, jerseys, and other apparel.
He didn't produce those.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Hold on. You're wrong. He did.
When I say produce, he did not produce. Like, he does not.
Are you assuming? Are you assuming? Did he not?
Does not own a sweatshop.
But okay, so you have to own a sweatshop to go to the sweatshop to get your stuff made.
You have to own the means of
listen.
So the only way you can be a capitalist is if you own a sweatshop.
Yes, we've been trying to. No, listen. No, wait.
So that means Jay-Z isn't a capitalist. He don't own a sweatshop. Rockaware don't own a sweatshop. They go to China and buy their products, like Colin Kaepernick his product.
Wait. First of all, you keep straw man in the argument. You keep saying, like, we're not saying that in every situation it's a sweatshop involved, literally, right? Okay, but in this particular, hold on, I know. So in this particular case, we're talking about clothes, right? We're talking about like clothes, shoes, whatever, right? Okay, cool. So Colin Kaepernick, and when he has his cap, like the kneel with cap jerseys or whatever, he does not own a sweatshop. He does not own the means of production. What he does is, though, like you and I can do, if we want to make some sweaters or some sweatshirts, we go through a manufacturer and we say, hey, can you make us 100 of these and put this print on it, and we'll give you X amount of dollars. We don't control the means of production. We're buying it from the producers. So yes, he does not own the means of production. He doesn't. He bought it, like I just explained to you before. It's a difference between getting a product and flipping it and controlling the means of production. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I don't understand how it shouldn't be that hard to understand that.
It's hard to understand. There go your definition, Robert, right there of capitalist. And I want to see where does it say means of production?
You just read it right now. You just read it when you just said that the private sector controls the production. You just said that right now.
Yeah, the private sector controls the production. That doesn't mean the private sector. Okay, it doesn't say you can't be a capitalist if you're not involved, if you're not buying from the producer. You're still in the process of the production. You're talking about if you're don't own a sweatshop and you don't stitch together the material, you can't. Then you're not a capitalist. Right. If you don't produce it, okay. Well, if that's you guys' definition, then argument over. We just have different opinions on that. I don't think you have to be the producer of something to be a capitalist. And you guys are saying Jay-Z's a capitalist because he produces music.
Intellectual material is a product.
I could go further. I can go further with Jay-Z though. Jay-Z also, doesn't he own or part owner of a wine company? which they actually make the shit. They don't buy it from somebody. He owns control. He owns a part of a wine. I don't know what the company is,
alcohol,
right? But
basically
alcohol.
Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades, champagne or whatever. Okay, cool, right?
So he's in on growing the grapes.
Yes, the company he owns actually grows the grapes. Yes.
Okay. No, Prince,
So
I'm not here. If you're right, you're right. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a difference. That's what I'm saying. Once again, Jay-Z owns a part, or he owned his own record label. He owned it. He wasn't just an artist on his label. He didn't just have stock in his label. He owned 51%. He was the largest, whatever. He was the biggest owner, whatever, of Def Jam, right? Not Def Jam. I'm sorry, The Rock, right?
Who was owned by Universal?
No. They were partners with Universal. He owned.
They distributed.
Distributed it.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. Colin Kaepernick, when he played in the NFL and trying to play in the NFL, that makes you a partner with the NFL.
No, it doesn't. It makes you an employee.
What are you talking about? Players.
He works for the NFL, dog. He has a contract for the NFL.
No. Players own 43% of the National Football League.
He doesn't own 43%.
Players, he owns a percentage of that 43%.
How many players are in the NFL? I know. How many?
It's still.
It does matter. It does matter.
Stake, and even as owners, they don't have as much power, of course, because they're not the majority owners, but they are minority owners. They do have a minority stake. I'm just trying to say that this is a fact. This is a fact. They do own small parts of the team. Now, I'm not saying that they have no decisions in control. That's why you have the NFLPA, the players' unions, and things of those natures, because they don't own the majority of the control, but they do have some control. I'm just saying that they do own a small, minute.
So they're not capitalists. They're not. They're not majority owners. They don't.
Are they producing the material when they go out and play?
No,
they're not, because they're not producing a game. Look, they're not producing a football play. They're employees of the football game is a total entertainment thing.
And so they are the production.
Can any of them go and start their own football league and play in it?
If they wanted to, yeah.
Realistically, no.
No, realistically, they can. We have Ice Cube doing it 3-on-3. Let's not say that. We have an XFL coming up next year that the NFL is very threatened by.
Who owns the XFL? Who owns the XFL?
McMahon, and then they have some other private investors.
Real life capitalists.
Yeah. But you said, could they? My answer is yes, they could. That's all I'm saying. To say that they can't, they could. Something that we get kind of far.
Where would they play?
Oh, come on. The same play there was a league last year, the AAL, they played all over the country. Where were they play? Now that's straw manning an argument right there. Trying to say that they can't do it and then say where will they play? There's been plenty of examples of other leagues. They choose not to. That's a difference.
What I'm saying is each individual player, every player that plays in the league has a contract with a franchise, with a team. You understand what I'm saying? They are employees of that team. That team can cut them.
A contract don't make you, and they could quit too. A contract don't necessarily make you an employee. And a contract, they're independent contractors by their contract. We've added the employee part. A football player is an independent contractor. And that's because they have a small ownership stake.
Then why can't they go play wherever they want to go play unless they're free agents?
They could try. That's part of being an independent contractor. That don't mean they will succeed, but they can try. A football player at any time could try to go play for somebody else. You see football players getting out of contracts all the time.
I can quit McDonald's and go to Wendy's. I can quit McDonald's and go to Wendy's anytime I want.
You can.
But you can't.
What if Wendy's don't hire you? What if Wendy's don't hire you?
Hey, you could try. You might not succeed, but that don't mean you can't. There's a difference between that. There's a difference between, unless you're a share owner in Wendy's or wherever you are, then you
could be a share. No. You could be a share owner and still work for the company and not own the company. That's what I'm saying. You're conflating. You're conflating the two.
You might
You're
not.
saying
No.
I own some
You
stock,
don't understand with how shares work. Once you own shares, no, you don't. Once you own shares, you are a partial. You're a small owner, depending on how many shares you have. Once you go over 51 shares, you become the majority owner. I mean, 51% of shares. So if you do work somewhere, you are taking part of the ownership of that company. It might not be enough to move the needle, but you are a part.
You don't control, Tyrone. You don't.
I didn't say you controlled it.
Then if you don't control anything, then you're not a capitalist. You keep going back to the same thing. I don't care if you own a part of a company. That does not make you a capitalist. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
We're talking about different things. We're talking about ownership. I'm saying that if you own shares, you are a part owner. Now, as far as being a capitalist, does that make you a capitalist because you own a couple of shares? No. I would think you're trying to be a capitalist.
Yeah,
but you're not. But you're not.
But you're not. I'm saying, and this is what I think the difference is when it comes to Colin Kaepernick. When we talk about Colin Kaepernick, he is a corporation. His name, his brand is a corporation.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's fair. It's not like it's not. When he goes, people, they're not taking him as Colin Kaepernick, the human being, just based on who he is. They're taking the corporation and the numbers that his corporation brings. Nike did not sign Colin Kaepernick because he was just a good guy. They signed Colin Kaepernick because he had numbers. And when I say capitalized on them numbers, Robert, I'm not correlating that into making him a capitalist. That's just what the word I used to say he did it. He capitalized his brand on a movement. Right there is where he became a capitalist. He took his brand and sold it to another brand and capitalized. He
already was with them, man. Before he did all of that, he was already with Nike.
Yeah, great. And Nike wasn't going to sign him again.
I know, but he's an
okay.
Athlete,
Nike didn't sign him as an athlete, right?
They did. They signed him the first time as an athlete. Yes,
but the second time, no. Okay, but they were going to cut him as an athlete. Did they re-sign him as an athlete?
I don't know what they re-signed him as. No, to be honest with you.
They re-signed him as a corporation. He's Colin Kaepernick. He's not he's not playing the sport. What sport is he playing? When
Jordan.
Was he playing the sport?
Yeah, when they signed him, he was playing the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jordan has owned this company since he was a player. He just never.
So they signed him as a personality, an actor.
Yeah, a corporation.
No,
as an actor.
You guys can switch it up. You can switch it up. And does he have a brand?
His brand is Nike.
His brand is Colin Kaepernick, which he sold to Nike. He had to have something to sell to Nike in the first place. That's what you guys are trying to skip, is the brand of Colin Kaepernick. That is a brand. And when you become a brand, you are in control of your product. And when you take that brand and sell it to somebody else, you're a capitalist. He sold his brand. By you guys' definition.
No, that's not our definition.
And to say the NFL, the players don't produce anything, they produce the damn game.
No, they don't. They literally don't produce the game.
Does a game happen without them playing? They can play without NBC.
Hey, NBC produces the game. Literally.
No, they don't.
They literally produce the game.
One, that sounds ridiculous because every game isn't on TV. A lot of games don't come. What?
Yeah, every game is on TV. Every game is on TV. Every game.
Are you sure?
Yes. Sure. I bet anything. Every game is on TV. Every single game is on. Every NFL game is on TV.
Maybe in a local affiliate. You're right.
That's TV. Yes. You're right about every single game is on TV.
You're right about that. What, Robert?
Who owns the local affiliate? Those. Yeah. If I'm on an affiliate of NBC is putting my game on TV.
So NBC, you have to have NBC there to play a football game.
You have to go. What I'm saying is, every football game you see is a result of production of a production. It's a
production is the players playing. What are you talking about?
That's not, man.
See, now you guys are getting production, bro.
It's not, man.
Production is action cut.
When you go see Disney on Ice, the people skating on ice, they're not the producers of the show. This is it's a show like any other show, bro.
They are producers of the show. They're producing the show. They're actually part of the production. How is somebody that's part of the production not a producer?
You're not a producer just because you're a part of the production. If I'm an actor, I'm an actor. I'm a part of the production, but they literally put executive producer Michael Bay, executive producer James Cameron, whatever the case may be. It does not say executive producer Tyrone Irvin, Prince Hayes. And we are the actors. Producers actually fucking produce.
And you would be
they put up the money. They get the cameras. They rent out the time. They pay. They get the advertisers. Those are the fucking producers. That's what a production is, man. We are players in the game. We are employees if we play for the NFL. We are partners, employees, whatever, but we do not control the means of production. And I'll prove it to you. When they have a lockout, they'll get scabs to come in and play. Anybody can fucking play. It don't fucking matter.
And yes, when the scabs come and play, the scabs are then the producers. The scabs are producing.
Oh, man.
They're producing the product.
That's not how it works, Tyrone. Sorry.
Well, that is how it works. Like right now, we are producing a product. We are the actors on this. We are the ones driving it and making it happen. I'm the one who started it by putting on the Zoom and going live. I started the production. We are carrying on the production with our actions. Just because you say action for a football game don't mean it's not production.
Tyrone, you're the producer. Right now, you're the but Tyrone, you're the producer. We're not.
We're on
your show.
We are all a part of this production.
Yeah, you're right, but we're not the producers.
Without you guys in this production, it is not happening. So you are contributing.
Got you. No, it wouldn't. No. This conversation, you're right. Literally between us wouldn't happen because we physically wouldn't be here. But if we weren't here, the production would still be here because you would still be here, the producer. You could do it by yourself. I've seen you do it.
And it wouldn't be the same production. It's just like
I didn't say the same. I just said it would be a production.
Now listen to this. Like let's take what you just said. If NBC, CBS, or ESPN go out to the football game and they turn on their cameras and there's no football players out there, where's the production?
You're right. There is no production at that time because the
football players play for the production.
No, but listen. No, listen to what I'm saying. But Robert, I'm sorry, but Tyrone, if the players strike, I'm not saying that the players or the staff don't have control. That is another conversation that we could have about the system that we're in, because we really have all the fucking power if we come together. So I'm with you on that. If we just came together and was just like, nah, fuck that. We're not going to do nothing for you capitalists anymore. Until we get our fair share, or until you guys stop doing this, which has happened many and many times, it's happening all around the world right now, then cool. Now we're trying to bend the capitalists to our will. That's different. But until that, but even with that happening or whatever, we're still not the capitalists. We're still not the producers. We are part of the production. We're still just employees, man. And there's a famous book called $1 Million Slaves, talking about athletes. In the book, he refers to them as slaves. He doesn't refer to them as partners. He doesn't refer to them.
That's somebody's opinion.
I know, but the reason why that's pertinent to the conversation is because most people see it like that. Most people see them as slaves, man.
Who is most people? And I don't slaves. I get the terminology.
Employees. I'm sorry.
I
employees.
Get the terminology, but I don't know about
employees, not slaves. Employees. And at the very least, they're employees.
And I do agree with you guys on a lot of what you're saying. Let me let the inflection in my voice make it like I don't. And you guys have been right about a lot of things. Going back to what we were talking about, I just don't agree with the fact that you have to be able to own a factory if we're talking about clothes and stitch something together to be the only one in that situation to be able to be a capitalist. I don't think that only the manufacturer is the capitalist. I think I personally could be a capitalist if I go to China and I buy 10,000 pair of shoes for $2 a piece. If I come back over here and I sell them without the government and I sell them for $300 a piece, in my eyes, I would be a capitalist. an entrepreneur, but I would be practicing capitalism. I would be practicing commerce and business without the government.
So then, you can't. First of all, you couldn't do that without the government because they control all of that. But secondly, you got to understand that that's the mentality. See, like if you look at that definition of capitalist, there's two definitions there. The second definition is someone that like supports capitalism, someone that ideology has adopted the ideology of capitalism. And you may have be that person and do those things in the name of capitalist principles, but that does not make you a capitalist. A capitalist is that main guy.
How does it not, Robert, if it's in the same definition?
Look it down at the second definition there.
See, that's the thing. It's not a second definition.
No, yeah,
it's the same definition. One is a noun, one is an adjective, right?
One is an adjective.
Okay.
One is a noun, one is an adjective. So those are two different words. One's an adjective, one's a noun.
Okay. And
an adjective is going to describe the yeah, never mind.
Go ahead, Prince. An adjective is going to describe the noun, correct?
Yeah, so it's saying like you have to actually be doing X, Y, and Z to be a, you know what I'm saying? Like not just
exactly. It says practicing, supporting, or based on the principles of capitalism.
Right.
Capitalism. So practicing or supporting, right?
So you can ideologically adopt capitalism.
Where does ideologically
in your home and be like, I love capitalism and I'm a capitalist and I support the ideas and I support the principles of capitalism. But that doesn't make them a capitalist simply by supporting the principles of capitalism. They have to go out and actually become a capitalist.
Yeah.
So when you talk about becoming a capitalist, you will do things in the name of capitalism before you're a capitalist, but eventually you will become that. It's almost like becoming an NFL player. Like this, you start off in the Pee Wee leagues. You're like, I want to go to the NFL. I'm gonna be that top tier player one day. And you work hard, you practice, you put things into practice, you adopt the ideals of an NFL player, and then you eventually make it to the NFL. Now you're a top tier player. That's the same thing when we're talking about a capitalist and someone that is a capitalist in terms of ideology, and someone is a capitalist in terms of actual practicing capitalists. Those are two different things.
Okay, I hear you.
Are you a business owner? Are you a business owner because you think you want to own a business? Are you a business owner if you buy stuff from a business? No, you're not a business owner until you actually own a business. Like Robert was saying, you're like even if you play football in college, because playing football in college is really hard to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still the odds of you making it to college and playing. Fuck even being good, just playing is really, really low, right? The odds of you making it there, right? But let's say you make it on a football team in college and you play in college. You still can't call yourself a football player, like as your profession, because you don't make no fucking money. So you got to say, I'm a student. I'm fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody asks you, what are you? You can't say I'm a football player because you don't make no money. They're like, what the fuck? You ain't no, okay. Oh, I go to school at whatever. I go to school at Cal State, but okay, cool. So you're a
job if you're making money doing it.
It's a profession if you're making money doing it. That's what a
profession. Yes, you're right. Yeah, sorry, your profession. Yes. So until you get to that highest level, you are aspiring to be that. You're not that yet, though. That's the point. So we all can sit here and be like we all, because most people want to be capitalists because that's what they teach you, right? That's what we're all fighting to be. Technically, we all want to be rich. We all want to be wealthy. We all want to control the means of. We all want those things because that's what we've been taught. That's what success is, right? But in reality, only fucking 1% of the fucking world of this country are actually capitalists. Everybody else is sucking at the teeth.
Like the NFL, it's a bunch of people aspiring to be there. Only like 1%, a fraction of a percent of the people.
A fraction of a percent makes it. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Now here, let me go back over here. I want to go back to this definition of capitalist because. Again, the adjective says practicing and supporting supporting or based on the principles of capitalism. It doesn't say the adjective means you have an ideology. It says practicing and supporting. Like you're adding
the principles denotes an ideology.
based on the principles of capitalism.
That's an ideology. When you
that's an ideology,
based on the principles and you adopt something based on the principles, that's an ideology.
No, it didn't say that this is adopted based on, it's saying the adjective, these are the actions of a capitalist, practicing or supporting or based on the principles.
So he's saying replace based on the principles of ideology with based on based on the principles of capitalism. Replace that with based on the ideologies of capital. It's the same thing. They're synonyms in this particular case.
It's not, because it's not the same to me.
No, the key word there,
like that's what I'm telling you guys. What I'm stuck on.
Word
so
is
you guys,
right there, Tyrone.
Yeah, so it means either one of those things. So practicing and supporting, or based on what we see right here, a wealthy person, a wealthy person who uses money to invest in trade or industry for profit in accordance with the principles of capitalism. Right?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. And so I don't know, for some reason we are getting just a difference in understanding. I've seen
different.
I'm just trying to understand it.
And I've seen different meanings of capitalist. Yeah. So the same thing. It's the same thing though. Like I'll do this. Use this as an example too. So when we talk about racism, right? Most black people who suffer from racism understand racism differently. Fuck what the Webster's Dictionary tells us about racism, right? Because they'll just say anybody who thinks that da-da-da-da-da is better than da-da-da-da, then you're a race. Okay, cool. So we can do that on a technical level, right? So technically speaking, there are tons of races in the country, tons of races in the world, right? But in reality, we don't give a fuck about the people who think lowly of black people. Because that doesn't affect me if my neighbor doesn't like black. You know what I'm saying? Like that he doesn't control anything in my life. He's just my neighbor. Fuck him, right? He can have his own secretive views, or who cares? Where racism matters, where we give a fuck, where we like, all right, that's fucking racism, is when it's institutional, right? Like when we talk about like the systems of this society. It's the same fucking thing with capitalism. You could think whatever the fuck you want to think. You could think that you're a capitalist. You could flip some T-shirts. You could have a small business. You go, oh, I'm a capitalist. I'm making all this. Cool. But in reality, that shit, you're not a capitalist. Like I said, I view you as an entrepreneur. I don't look at you like a capitalist, because the thing about capitalism that I know for sure is they will sell their fucking mamas. They will sell their mamas and daddies and brothers or whatever to make a profit, because that's what it's all about. You have to turn a maximum profit, and you don't do that in your business. You're not selling out your workers to turn a maximum profit. You make sure your workers are paid right, and you know what I'm saying? You like, I make good enough money, and they make money. Cool, let's do that. Okay, see what I'm saying?
I think Colin Kaepernick didn't sell his workers for maximum profit. I think that he sold his cause for maximum profit. And that's just my opinion. A lot of people don't feel like that, but that's what I'm trying to say, the breakdown for me. And I'm glad you say, okay, sometimes we can say, forget the dictionary term, because we all have intrinsic feelings on what something means besides what a dictionary says, like racism. Yeah. Right. And so, and like you said about capitalism, and really that's where I'm coming from when it comes to on a personal level. And then, Robert, I will bring the word capitalize in it, because now that I think about it, it might not be the root word for capitalism, even though they sound similar. But I think when somebody capitalizes because of their people, or because of a certain, okay, if it's you two, okay, it's you and I, and it's us three, and we have a network together, right? And we do things together. We are all, in your mind, equals. Well, literally we are, but I'm just trying to paint a picture. And I let you guys feel we're all equal, this, that, and the third, and we start making a shit ton of money, right? We start making the money. I don't tell you guys. I take the money and I start using the money for my own gain and my own benefit. To me, that would make me a capitalist. You see what I'm saying? And that's the ugly side of capitalism too. Now, that's not what the dictionary says, but in my opinion, that would make me a capitalist. Would that make me a capitalist?
Yes, but you don't have to be a capitalist to be corrupt. I mean, you know what I mean? You don't have to be corrupt to be a capitalist.
Right. That's why I said the ugly side.
But capitalism does reward corruption.
Okay.
Wrong with capitalism.
I agree with that. And so that's where I'm trying to tell you guys why I felt like Colin Kaepernick is a capitalist.
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe Colin Kaepernick is corrupt?
No, that's different. No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know or think he's a bad guy. I think he makes decisions, and this is what I think capitalists do. They make business decisions that are the best for their bottom line every single time because they're capitalists. That's what capitalists do. You know, they take whatever they can and leverage something for much as they can get. That's, to me, what a capitalist is.
But I think that Colin Kaepernick, but that would kind of be like, I don't know much. When the whole Colin Kaepernick thing happened, I was kind of like, okay, what the fuck ever, who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when he said when he started sitting down to the national anthem and taking a knee and doing the backlash thing, he was asked to stop and he didn't. That wasn't him protecting his bottom line.
No,
it wasn't.
It wasn't. You know what? I agree with that 1000%. But we got to go further than that. We got to go past that. So at that point, go ahead.
So he didn't. So his initial stance, we can agree. So let's start from there. His initial stance, he didn't do that to make money. He did that because he really felt compelled to do that, right? Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. But look, and hold on before we go too far. I don't know what compelled him. I don't know if it's because he was really mad that he wasn't playing, or if he was really mad about police brutality, or a combination of both. But I give him the benefit of the doubt for what he said personally. And so I do think he felt compelled.
The problem. So what started it for him was what, from what he said, was a man being shot in San Francisco.
Right.
He got killed. An unarmed man got killed in San Francisco. So I'm taking him at his word because it started right after that. So I'm gonna believe that that's what prompted him to do it. So he did that. He took the knee.
Right.
He wasn't playing at the time. He was coming off of an injury. He wasn't like not playing because they benched him. He was not playing because he was
coming off an injury. Right.
He was coming off of surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the knee. Mm-hmm. When he took the knee, he knows the NFL. None of us are in it. You're closer to it, but none of us are in it. But we all know we knew how that shit was going to play out for him. You know what I'm saying? We knew how the NFL was going to take to that.
He knew. He said that he was ready for the consequences and he would accept them, however they came.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So he knew how the NFL will react to it, right? But yet he still did it, even when he wasn't playing. So if his thing was to maximize his situation, maximize his dollars, then he wouldn't have taken the knee. Because he knew right there, they're going to ostracize me. My contract is up. San Francisco was going to cut him with or without him taking that knee. He opted out.
They were going to cut him if they didn't come together on the amount of money. He wasn't going to take that cut. So he wasn't going to take that pay cut. Yeah, so absolutely. So they were going to let him go. He was going to go somewhere else, whatever, right? So this is speaking as football fans because we follow the shit. You know what I'm saying? So we know that was going to happen I'm a Niners fan. Before Colin Kaepernick took that knee, I knew full and well he wasn't going to be a Niner the next year. I knew that before. I was like, we ain't going to pay him. We're in a rebuild. We've seen this story play out 1,000 times, right? Cool. Right. So moving forward. So he didn't take the knee. So he takes the knee. Okay.
Everything plays out the way it plays out throughout the year. And now it's the end of the year, and or he's announced the next year and he's cut, or he's not on the team. And at that point, it started to cost him money. Because had he not taken that knee, he would have been on a roster making money. Probably would have been starting for another team. So everything he did after that, as far as I'm concerned, was justified. I totally understand why he did it, because he still has to make a living, because he's still an employee, because he doesn't control anything. That proves it right there.
Wait. He's choosing to be an employee, and he's choosing not to control anything.
We are all choosing to be employees, man. That's like Kanye saying we choosing to be slaves.
No, we don't. We all have to be. You don't have to be an employee, Prince. That's up to you.
I know.
Oh my God,
bro.
really?
Yeah, come on, man.
It is.
Come on, man.
Is
but just saying that doesn't make it.
No, I mean, no. You do have a choice. Is that not a choice?
A lot of people don't. No, some people don't have a choice. a lot of people don't have a choice but to go to work every day for someone else. Real life.
Most people, the vast majority of people.
Yes.
No, I think that's a decision. Look, and hold on, it is a decision because to make the decision, it does take a lot of sacrifice. You might lose. It might be days where you can't pay your bills. It might be days. It's comfort in being an employee. That don't mean you have to.
It's sustenance. Because we got kids. We all got kids.
Yeah, we do.
I can miss 4 meals and I'll be like, I'm cooking a pie. I'm working on my own stuff. But if I start looking at my kids and they're starving, dude, I'm going to work.
Hey, yeah. And again, as you should, and that's still a decision. And like I said, you might not starve, Robert. It might work. You see what I'm saying? That's a decision. That's like saying that there's everybody. If that's the case, look, would never be poor people who decide not to work and own businesses. No, but it happens all the time. It's a decision.
No, but then when I own my own business, I'm not all. I become self-employed, meaning I am employed by myself, though. Someone employed myself. That's the difference. I'm now self-employed.
Oh, but you're not an employee of
the
anybody
largest
else,
businesses
right?
Owned by capitalists, what do they have in common? Their business systems.
Yeah, and they don't care about people. But go ahead.
We're talking about business systems. So what's the largest business you can think of? Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Amazon is a business system. It's not a self-employed. But Jeff Bezos ain't walking into Amazon like, let me get a box. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so wait. Let's go back to where we're saying. So what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that
what I'm saying is that the vast majority of people, because of works like this, the vast majority of the people are part of the proletariat.
Okay.
They are either self-employed.
Okay, now that's different. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because at first I was taking it as if you were saying that everybody has to be an employee, but then when you say self-employed, and you put it in the same category, I agree with you. What you're saying makes.
I'm not saying that everybody needs to be an employee. I'm saying that everybody needs to make money, and the vast majority of people don't. The vast majority of people don't have the means to even be self-employed. If you want to go there, so the vast majority of people don't have the knowledge. They don't have the money. They don't have the support. They don't so the number one reason why businesses fail is undercapitalization, right? So not having enough money. Mm-hmm. And the vast majority of people don't have enough. You can have a great idea, but if you don't have enough money, that shit probably is going to fail. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why there's capitalists that own businesses that back people with great ideas with their own capital.
I 100% know about what you guys are saying. Believe me, trust me. What I'm trying to say is that doesn't mean that you can't do it. You can still try. You're giving people an automatic fail.
I'm just speaking from reality, Tyrone. I don't do
reality too.
No. Reality is the
start businesses and start working for themselves that were in destitute situations. They just decided to take the sacrifice and take it on head on.
So since we talk about reality, do the majority of businesses, would you say the majority of businesses succeed or fail?
They fail.
Huh? Okay, cool. So that's reality. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm living in reality. I'm not living in like what could be, because really what could. So here's what I'm saying. If we speaking in hypothetical.
In reality, also majority of business owners failed at their first business as well. So what I'm trying to say is they continue to try. That's all I'm trying to
I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking that. But I'm not knocking that. I'm not telling.
I don't think that we should say that the majority of people can't start business.
I didn't say that. Man, listen to what I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying that the majority of people literally don't have enough capital to start a business. That's a reality. I'm not making that up.
Right, and also add to that, Prince, that the fact that if someone wants to start their own business, usually they have to go to a capitalist to get the capital to start the business. Meaning they have to get a loan from a bank. Or they have to have an investor, or they have to have someone else foot the bill
to fund them.
Business.
And even if they got the money,
on the size and the scale of the business, that's true. And what I'm trying to say is that there's options. We're talking, and I think again, there's levels to everything, right? It's an onion. I'm trying to say all businesses don't take an exorbitant amount of money to or capital or outside investors.
Not saying that at all. I agree. I 100% agree with you, and I'm not trying to deter. Like that's the thing that because we've had these discussions before too in other areas, but like what I don't like, I just heard this the other day. I was watching Jadena on the Breakfast Club, and people are like circulating this video, this clip that he had. That he was in. And Jadena was saying, like, don't blame the education system. Don't blame the government. You got to hold yourself accountable. That is some bullshit. Like, like if I'm talking to you personally,
because the government and the education system is a part of the problem why we got here in the first place. That's
exactly. So if I'm talking to you as an individual, right, and you're strung out on drugs, and you're not, you know what I mean, and you can't seem to get, you know, whatever the case may be, you don't know, you don't have a direction or whatever. If I'm talking to you as a homie, as my friend, as my fam, of course I'm gonna be like, bruh, come on, man, let me help you. Let's get it together. Hold yourself accountable. You got to get up. You got to want it, right? Personally, I will do that. But when we talk about the masses, now we have to talk about systemically. And if we're talking systemically, I do not want to fucking hear, oh, don't blame this. Don't blame the government. Don't blame the system. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course the system is the problem. It's not. So basically, when you say don't blame the system, to me, how I take that as is you're saying that it's just in us. Like we're just poor because we want to be poor. We're just fucked up because we want to be fucked up. And I'm like, no, that's ignorant. That's very ignorant, very disrespectful. So back to what we were saying. I don't need to tell people that, like, I'm not a motivational speaker, so to speak, right? Like, I'm not here trying to tell, like, you can do it too. Like, bro, of course you can, right? Cool. Do your thing, man. I'm not telling I'm not telling anybody to not chase their dream. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am doing, though, is I'm accepting the fact that I know that the vast majority of people have to either work or be self-employed. I know that. There's no denying that. I know that the vast majority of people who try to start their own business fail at that business. Me included. I had a small business before, and it didn't go so well. I didn't lose that much money. I didn't put that much money in it, but it did definitely flop. And that's fine. And I learned from that. And I'm going to go back again. I'm going to start another business. Right? But I'm in I understand my position. I know that I have it better than most people do, so I can do that. But I can't tell my brother to do that shit. I can't tell my nephew to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't expect that out of them, I'm saying. You dig what I'm saying?
Can I ask you why not?
Because they don't have the same support system as I do. I make more money than them, and I have a second income that my wife will make more, makes money as well. So I have so even if I don't make money, I could take the risk. But my brother, he don't have that. My nephew, he don't have that. If he go flat broke, that nigga goes flat broke and he don't eat. So and that's how they set up the system. They set up the system to where you always have to work. And no matter what, like it's really, really hard because you don't have anything if you don't work. You don't have healthcare if you don't work. You don't have somewhere to live if you don't work. You don't have food if you don't work, right? Basic needs. Now, if we change the system and everybody has these basic needs met, then you will start seeing an explosion in entrepreneurialism, right? You will see you will see an explosion in people taking more quote unquote gambles and risks or whatever. But for the time being in this system, that's
because
fine.
They can't. Okay.
Because they can't. Right? They can't. They really can't.
Prince, no, I listen. The way you just articulated, I fully understand what you're saying, and I'm not. I just think we have a difference in thought process when it comes to that. Like I'm just not the we can't person, or even looking at it in a realistic point of view. I believe that people can. I believe we think we can't. I think that's part of the conditioning that's weighing on us heavy, is thinking that we can't do things.
Well,
one second, Robert, just 1 second. I think that we're not ready for the sacrifice, and that is the system, and that's where I agree with you. Is because if you can't suffice while you're starting a business, you can starve, like literally. Like this is, you feel what I'm trying to say? But I just think that it can be done. You see what I'm saying? And I agree.
Of course,
Overwhelmingly, it hasn't worked for everyone the first time. But I just think personally, it's a way of thinking and a way of keep going. If you have to scale it down or do something different, a lot of people who are owning businesses or doing businesses, they're not chasing their dreams. They're doing, like you said, they're doing what they have to do to eat. I do think that everyone has the capability of doing it. It's just about knowing when. Now, we all can't just do it at any time. You see what I'm saying? But I do believe that it could be done. I just can't say I don't think the vast majority of us can't. It just depends on the scale. But go ahead, Robert.
Tyrone, you know what? I can see what you're saying, but you got to understand that that's cool if everyone started off on equal footing to say that we all can. See, but there has been disparities in opportunity. There's disparity in aptitude. Some people are smarter than other people. There's disparities in aptitude. Some people are handicapped and they were born that way. You know? Some people have different challenges that they can't, are totally out of their control. And we start on different places due to capitalism and the caste system. See, capitalism creates a social caste system. It cannot survive without one. And because of that social caste system, opportunities are different depending on where you're at and where you start. It's not a fluke that most capitalists or big time corporations are run by predominantly white people. It's not a fluke. The reason it's like that, the reason why most of the largest corporations that make it are run by white people is because of the social caste system that capitalism needs to survive.
Yeah.
So if we say someone cannot do it, or you say we can all do it, or anyone can do it, but in theory anyone can do it. But because we're not,
I didn't say it was going to be easy. That's what you guys keep missing. I didn't say it was even going to be fair.
No,
I didn't say easy, fair. I didn't say equal. I didn't say none of that.
And in some cases, it's impossible.
Yes.
See, that's what even not in every case. In some cases, it is impossible.
Okay, are we talking about the majority of cases, or a small, minute amount of cases
of the population to where it is impossible for them to have upward mobility? And
give me an example, Rob.
Well, if you were watching Meme Knowledge on Thursday, I put something up called a Great Gatsby graph.
Yeah, I seen that.
Great Gatsby graph shows income disparity versus the your upward mobility in any given nation. The United States was one of the worst. The reason why United States is one of the worst is because it is the most embedded. It is a bastion of capitalism. And so it's showing more than anybody what the results of big capitalism is. You're going to have low income, large income disparity, and low upward mobility.
You have to for capitalism to work.
Embedded. And it's becoming, so there is going to be a section of the population.
And it's becoming worse.
Not everybody, and I'm not even saying the majority, but there's going to be a section of the population where it is totally impossible for them to change their status. They have to have it that way because capitalism relies on.
You know what, Robert? I'm gonna be completely honest with you, and I agree with you. I'm just look, I'm just trying to be clearly like when we have these conversations. To me, I'm not dug in to where I can't, evolve or learn. And I agree with you. And this is why I say I agree with you, because I do know that there are some people who are so abjectly poor that they can't, like what Prince was saying earlier, they can't take the time, or when I say sacrifice, I mean going without. They can't. They got
so little that they can't go without, because to go without, it's like they're dead at that point, because they won't go.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying is I 100% agree with you guys on that point. I'm just saying I don't think that that's the vast majority of all people.
It's not. It is. I would say this. I would say this. I want to say two things. One thing is that Martin Luther King Jr. said himself, basically that phrase, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, right? He had a problem with people saying stuff like that, because he said it. He said, how are you going to tell somebody to pull themselves up by their bootstraps when they don't have boots? or straps, meaning they don't have the means to do so. You dig what I'm saying? So therefore,
that's when he started the Poor People's Campaign.
Exactly, and this is Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was the most, to me, he was the most optimistic person in the world as far as I was concerned. Like looking back on, like he had to be the most optimistic person ever to do the shit that he was trying to do, right? So if he thought that, then who am I to tell anybody like, oh, everybody can? No. The vast majority of people, it is not going to work for. That's the truth. Not to say that it's impossible for the vast majority. It's just not going to work. There is, and then a big portion of them, it just ain't gonna happen. You dig what I'm saying? So we had to do numbers. I would say 70% of people. I'm a lowball it. 70% of people are never ever gonna even reach middle class status in America. 70%, right? Can they do it? Out of the 70% that can do it, I think probably 50% of the 70. I would say maybe 60% of the 70% can do it. I think the 40%. I think that there's so many people that are so poor that have such a lack of education, that have such a lack of support that they'll never ever get there. And secondly, even Obama said that even Obama, who was a straight crony capitalist to the core, he said, let's be honest. There's just groups of people, they're just never going to make it. Even he had to admit that.
You know what? Prince, and as optimistic as I am, I agree with everything you just said. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not. I'm not, because I do. I'm just going to make one small caveat. I do think that the majority of people who try to start a business will fail, but my caveat will be the first time. But I do understand about the support, because a lot of businesses do get some type of support from somewhere. Everybody don't admit it, but everybody gets, even if it's you get $500, loan to you from your grandma to go buy your first.
And you flip that and you make that into 12, whatever it is. Yeah, you got some help from somebody. And while we talking about this, can I ask people to go support us? So that, because we are smart, we need people to support us.
We trying to make it.
And look, we trying to make it, but we not get rich off of this shit. We trying to make it better for you guys, so that we can spread the information. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can help one another, not so we can be rich and fucking be like Jay-Z. That's not our goal in this shit.
And we're honest. We're honest. We're not doing it. And see, look, that ain't fair. I'm not doing it just to be rich like Kaepernick. Because Kaepernick just doing it to be rich too. I don't care what y'all say. I'm dug in about that. That's why I say Kaepernick is capitalist.
Superman still had a job. But
Superman was a movie, and Kaepernick has quite a few jobs. And look, and let's get back to again, this is what we were talking about earlier, and this is where we parted ways on our agreement. I don't think that to be a capitalist, you have to be the sole and only producer of a product. I think you can be a capitalist. I could be a capitalist off of something that somebody else produces. I can still take that and be a capitalist, especially if I'm gouging people, especially if I'm overcharging. If I go buy some medicine that costs 5 cents to make, and I come back and sell it to somebody else for $500 a pill, to me, that's a capitalist. I am practicing capitalism.
Those are pharmaceutical companies that do that.
I know, but I'm saying me, okay, in the hood. I'm in the hood, and I'm in the hood, Rob, and I'm going to go buy pills, and I'm getting pills for super cheap. And I'm taking these pills to somebody who don't have health insurance, who really needs the health insurance, and I'm overcharging them vastly the amount of what I'm getting them for those pills. To me, that would make me a capitalist and a crook at the same time. That's my problem with it, Robert. I don't like when people gouge people. And how about this? If you gouge people, to me, you're a capitalist. You're a capitalist. You're living off of capitalistic principles. Capitalism, when you don't care about people no more, you don't have any fundamental values, and it's all about profit. To me, that's capitalism.
Yeah. And so, you know what? To bring the whole thing to a head, let's think about it like this. Why does the system exist where someone can do that and just get away with it? Why, as a matter of fact, can be rewarded? Why does the system exist where in the same where we can have Robert Kraft inside the stadium in the booth, sitting there, right? And he owns the team. And then a couple blocks away from the stadium, you got somebody dying of starvation or kids that don't have health coverage. Why do they have that? Why is that? Why?
It's a system to keep rich white males rich. That was this, or it's a caste system. It's there to keep a caste system.
Exactly.
And so okay, so this is my thing. If you know that and you understand it, and let's say you already have enough money to where you don't have to be a part of that caste system, for you to still want to go join that caste system and further that narrative, to me makes you a capitalist as well.
Right, in the ideological sense, it definitely does.
Okay, in the ideological sense. Okay, I've been kicking around that ideological word since you said it, and I'm gonna kick it around a little bit more. See, you guys, look, this is we got 3 different shows on here, and this is why they should like us, P. Because again, we're honest. You could come here, you don't know what, we don't have a narrative. We don't have something we're trying to force you to believe. We all have our different thoughts. We all have our different opinions. This is what people should want. You should want a little bit of diversity. You can hear what everybody can say. You can even watch maturation as it goes, because there's been things that I didn't quite agree with them on that now I agree with. And Prince, this is why I didn't want to type it anymore, because the way like you articulated how you feel, don't matter what, there'll be a certain amount of people who just aren't going to make it. I mean, reading that, I would have been reading it like, Prince, what are you talking about? But when you say it, it makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? Is he there?
Prince, you muted.
Nah, he's not muted. I think he's frozen because he's been sitting.
He back.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I can hear. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It keeps kicking me off and making me come back in. I'm like, what?
Yeah. But nah, that's what I was saying, Prince. Like, that's why I like doing it like this better than just typing, because when people articulate their words and they can say what they want to say, you get it a little bit, you get a better inflection than just typing, because it was some of the stuff that you were typing when you were typing it. I was reading like, what are you talking about, Prince? You're being fooled. But when you say it, I'm like, okay, I feel you. I understand.
Yeah, it's hard to in writing too to like go through all the nuance, because there's tons of nuance. Like I'm not like people are trying to do this, and you're not doing this personally, right? But people are trying to do this to defend Jay-Z. They like, I keep reading stuff. People are like, oh, I don't see how y'all can still support the Niners but hate Jay-Z and like doing stuff like that. And I'm like, bro, it's not like, you don't, are you intentionally not trying to understand why people are upset with Jay-Z? Or are you just trying to just, like, to me, I feel like they're just trying to justify whatever Jay-Z's doing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z justification of Jay-Z. My justification of Jay-Z is this. I don't think Jay-Z did nothing no different than what Colin Kaepernick is doing and attempting to do. Therefore, I can't be mad at Jay-Z if I'm not mad at Colin Kaepernick, or I could be mad at them the same. They are both trying to capitalize off of the NFL. They are both trying to further and make money off the NFL.
But the problem with your logic is this, though. The main difference between the two is this. Jay-Z had to sell Colin Kaepernick, everybody else, and then he had to sell them out. And that's not me saying that. That's them saying that to him.
You breaking up.
Like, I agree with them, but he actually sold people out, which that's what I keep trying to tell. Like, that's what I was telling you before. I was like, show me where Cap sold people out, and I'll agree with you. I'll say that he's doing the same thing Jay-Z is doing. I'll turn around. I'll turn shit around right now. But if you can't, then we have to stop saying that, because they're not doing exactly the same thing.
Hold on. Let me
trying to get money from the NFL, and Jay-Z's trying to get money from the NFL. Therefore, they're doing the same thing. Well, how are they going about it? That's the question. Not are they both trying to get money? Okay, cool. Everybody's trying to get money. How am I?
How did Jay-Z sell out the people taking the knee? Did he tell them not to do it anymore?
Capsule's join him.
You breaking up real bad, Prince, like really, really bad.
Hello?
You there?
Hello?
We here. You breaking up.
Hello?
Yeah, we here, but you breaking up bad.
Man.
Yeah,
You?
wherever you standing. Maybe your phone is trying to connect to a Wi-Fi server.
What the heck is going on? Why is this thing not working? Okay. I can hear you, but
we can hear you better now.
You can hear me? Okay.
All right. Yeah. You were breaking up. Okay. And like I said, and my questions, I'm just trying to get clarification. And that's the crazy part when we do this, at least when I do it, I'm really trying to understand. And so, what were you saying again? You were breaking up through that whole last response that you had.
Okay, so I was saying that the difference between what Kaepernick is doing and what Jay-Z is doing is this.
Okay.
Jay-Z had to sell people out to get in a position of power. He literally had to, like you said, Cap sold the movement out, but to me he did it because he started the movement. So to me, he could take the movement wherever he wants to. That's how I feel about it. Now, if he sold out Eric Reed in that process, like if Kaepernick to go to Nike would have told Nike we're past kneeling, then I would have felt some type of way about Cap. You get what I'm saying?
Is Cap still kneeling after he signed with Nike?
He's not playing anymore, and he said he wasn't going to kneel before. He said he wasn't going to kneel before. But my point is this though: he can say that because he was physically kneeling. Jay-Z never knelt, so he can't say we're past kneeling because he never kneeled.
Has Colin Kaepernick said anything about whether people should kneel or should not kneel, or exactly?
No, he didn't. Once again, because he's saying that I'm not going to kneel. If Kenny Stills still wants to kneel, then he feels compelled to kneel, which I respect. He's not shitting on Kenny Stills. He's not shitting on Eric Reed to further his own movement. He's like, Kenny, you want to still kneel? Do your thing, Kenny. But me, I'm not going to kneel anymore because now I'm on to this. And he is not the movement. He just started it. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with thus far, and this is not even my love for him or nothing like that, because in all honesty, before he knelt or whatever, he played, once again, as a fan, Kaepernick was the quarterback of my favorite team of my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm a diehard Niners fan, but he was never, like, personality-wise, he was never my favorite person. I didn't like him. I never liked him. You know what I'm saying? I never did. But when he did what he did, I could see that he was willing to take a bullet for something he believed in. And that still rings true today, because like we said earlier, we don't believe him to be disingenuous.
Hold on. Let me say something. When you earlier, we didn't finish the story. You kind of got to where he took a knee and then things start falling apart, but we never stopped to the part to where he realized how many people were behind him and how he could monetize the movement. And you asked me, you said, if I can't say who he is sold out, then I can't say nothing about it, essentially. In my opinion, when Colin Kaepernick decided that he could no longer say nothing about black people getting shot in the back by the police, that's when he sold out the movement. That's what this was all about. Hold on. Because he don't talk about it anymore. The moment he stopped talking about it, because look, we still got people to this day taking the knee and taking consequences because they think that's what Cap would do. They think that's what Cap wants them to do. Cap is not telling anybody any direction. He's not nothing at all. And so to me, people want to say that he's not the people want to say he's not the, if he don't want to be the leader of the movement, stop tweeting what people should do through other people. Cap is he's playing very passive. Hold on. I let you speak for a long time.
My fault.
Kaepernick plays very passive aggressive. So he might not specifically say it, but he'll say this whole thing is here. This conversation is based on a passive aggressive post that he did. He posted a quote in a book. We don't know who the hell it's to, but everybody assume it's to Jay-Z. Because it's passive aggressive. That's what Kaepernick does. He gives passive aggressive messaging. It's very aggressive because, like I said, everybody get this connotation of what it meant without him ever having to say anything to me. The kids were out here where I live, not far, and I say it all the time. These kids lost their season because the league suspended their season because they knelt because they were trying to follow Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick has not left them without anything to do. And to say it's not his movement, I get it. We could say that, but he's taking the money like it's his movement. Look, Nike paid him. Nike only paid him. Huh?
We keep trying to connect like the movement.
Yeah, because Nike wouldn't have re-signed him without the people behind him of this movement. Nike was
image is a movement.
No, nigga, the movement is an image. The movement ain't a million different things. Say that.
Don't buy you and hate you. You gotta be the enemy. You got. You the bad guy. He's the bad guy.
Nike bought the movement. They don't give a damn about Colin Kaepernick.
All right, cool.
If Colin Kaepernick didn't have 13% of the American population behind him because of a movement, that Nike would not have re-signed him. They were not going to re-sign him. They re-signed him because the numbers he got because of the movement. And now he got the movement and he can't say nothing about the movement. The commercial he dropped with Nike didn't have nothing about the movement. They have washed out the movement because he's
wait. Hold on. So the thing that he said with Nike had nothing to do with the movement. So how did he sell the movement out? That's what I'm not understanding.
He said because he can no longer talk about it. Nike not making commercials about the movement. Colin Kaepernick ain't talking about the movement.
If I may, his movement wasn't really a movement; it was a protest. If you want to put it as a movement, the movement starts if Nike gets behind it, and then that's
right, Robert.
So if that's not
right.
correlating together, if that's not him speaking about the movement, it's not a movement. It was a protest.
You know what, Robert? You're right.
Now wait. Now we gotta look at the results. Mm-hmm. What were the results of that protest? The NFL gave $90 million to causes that the players get to choose to address these type of issues. That $90 million would have never, ever been given if Cap would not have kneeled.
And Robert, you're 100% right. And Kaepernick would have never got
started the conversation without people behind. It started the national conversation.
We've been having a national conversation.
No, we weren't having a conversation. Like, bro, come on, man. It was literally white people getting on the news cycle when he knelt and was like, "I've never talked about this before." That was happening.
Still white people saying that, Prince. You know white people always say that.
Bro, I'm not denying that. I'm saying that they weren't saying that before.
Regardless. Yes,
but Prince, in a way, I see what you're saying. They weren't having the conversation before, but we were having the conversation because it affected our community. But the spotlight wasn't put on it. And then the NFL, which employs so many of our well-to-do black men, and so many of them, the NFL themselves were doing nothing, even though they had a lot of black people that were actually going through it. In the fact where you would see NFL players getting pulled over and racially profiled and things of that nature. And police brutality goes beyond just the murder of somebody dying. Police brutality is a mentality that caused them to racially profile black people. If they see you in a nice car, they want to pull you over because they think you stole it. Or if you're walking down the street minding your own business, they want to stop and frisk you. And those type of things were happening to actual NFL players, and the NFL was silent on those things. But now, because of Kaepernick, not only are we talking about it in a more polarized way, not only are the owners having to take notice, they had to actually reach into their pockets and put their money where their mouth is if they actually care about those black men that play for them. Like they say, they slap on the ass and say, good job, boy.
Yeah, they got Jesse Jackson. They made an issue on a certain person's platform, then held them to task for it and made them pay. That's what they do. It worked, and I agree with what you said. It was a protest. The only reason I started calling it a movement is because so many other people in so many different varying places started to do it. People started to follow it, but him initially alone was a protest. It was a single person protest. And but this is all I'm trying to say. Nike wasn't going to re-sign Colin Kaepernick without the popularity of the protest or the movement or whatever you want to call it.
Let me ask you a question about that. Do you think that if, say, Colin Kaepernick never did anything, right? He went into free agency, he went to the another team, and he started throwing it, and he went back to the NFC or AFC championship game. You don't think Nike would have signed him again?
That's exactly what I was about to say, right?
Hold on. Let me answer you. Yes, that's if those things would have happened. Do you think they would have signed him if he would have just retired and never did the protest?
No, I think.
No. Hold on. I answered your question. I answered mine.
So.
Okay.
I said no. I said no. I'm saying this though, because I think this is what you can tell me if I'm wrong. You will tell me. So this is what I think was going to happen. I'm saying without the knee thing, right? And him without kneeling, right? If Cap never kneeled, he would have went to another team and started. He would have been a starting quarterback in the NFL, and now he would have re-upped his contract. It wouldn't have been nowhere near as big because he wouldn't have been as popular. You know what I'm saying? But they would have re-upped his contract. He was a starting quarterback in the NFL, and that's good enough. And he already had a contract with him and he already had that brash style. He would kiss biceps and all that stuff.
He had the afro. He could run. He could pass. He was being touted as that new prototypical type quarterback.
Yeah, he had his product. That was his product. And would Nike have picked up that product if he went to another team and just played well? Yes, yeah. I think so. Hell yeah. And look, and let me tell you guys something that you guys might not know. Colin Kaepernick, and there's other people that you could ask. In fact, I'll refer back to some old stuff, and I would say almost the same stuff as you guys 2 years ago. I have evolved and changed on my thought process of because things I've seen, things I've heard, and I'm just watching the development of it. But Colin Kaepernick was one of my favorite quarterbacks. And I was there when Colin Kaepernick went from remember he would come in the game and they would put him in just for a run play and just for a throw play.
They just throw him in. I remember they put him in at the end of the half.
And they'd be like,
through like a 70-yard bomb or like a
So what I'm trying to say is I'm not coming from a place of thinking that Cap. I think people are lying when they say he was sorry. I think people are lying when they say that he couldn't play on another team. Now, was he mad that he wasn't playing? I do think that has something to do with it. Do I think Cap is a little bit of a brat? Yes, I do think he's a little bit of a brat, just based on interactions, seeing him, seeing how he moves, not just in this situation, but in other situations, just as a human being, just a little bit of a brat. Like,
I'll say Cap is a dick.
A what?
I say Cap is a dick, but I'm a dick too, so I like that shit.
He might be. He's a little bit of a brat, in my opinion. If it don't go my way, then I don't, But again, so I'm not coming at a place from where I dislike Cap. That's what I think people get me mistaken. They think I dislike Cap. When we get off, I'll put you guys on the phone with somebody and hit it. Matter of fact, there's people who used to delete me for riding for Cap so hard, but I have always been a Cap fan as a quarterback. I love the way that Colin Kaepernick played the game. I also love his intellectual capability because people don't know that Colin Kaepernick graduated with almost all A's. Colin Kaepernick, yeah. But then again, that's why I don't like it when people make it like he's dumb. Oh, he can't speak. He can speak. He don't want to speak. He's choosing not to.
But I read stuff about how that is.
Hey.
Okay, well,
go ahead, Rob.
I think what he was trying to say: give Robert all your money. Thank you for your endorsement, Prince. I appreciate it.
Yeah, much appreciated. But yeah, Rob, but look, so I'm not coming from a place to where I dislike Cap. I just look at the money. And the reason I say he's a capitalist is because from what I've noticed, not when he first took a knee, but when the money started getting good, in every single situation, Colin Kaepernick dealt with the people with the most money. And the reason why I say when it came to Nike is because of this. Again, and I've said it a million times, Puma not only wanted Kaepernick, they wanted to make social justice their cause. And he told them no. And he went and re-signed with Nike for more money. Dude chases the money.
Loyal to your soil. I mean, he was.
Bro, Nike wasn't loyal to Cap. Nike stopped selling his jerseys. That's
because
they did what the
Nike,
NFL did. They put him to the side.
Listen. This is because Nike is a capitalist and Cap is not. He didn't understand. He's doing it for the love.
Robert, Colin Kaepernick is a capitalist, bro. He deals. Look, anytime it comes to
love, bro.
He ain't did shit for the love. If he did it for the love, he would have been a San Francisco 49er the next year. He opted out because he wanted more money. He resigned
with Nike for the love.
Yeah, I bet. And Nike signed him for the love because they love us that much. And look, and the NFL, they won't hire him because they know what's good for him too, right?
Right. Exactly.
But no, man, but that's all I'm saying. So I do get what you guys are saying now, the technical differences on the capitalism, but I don't know, Robert. I don't think even with his products, I don't think since he didn't go to China and buy a manufacturing company and manufacture them, that'll make him a capitalist. I think he's a capitalist, man. Them jerseys cost $200 a piece.
I do agree with you that it can be a little more nuanced than just some certain technical definitions. And it can be, to a certain extent, a judgment call if someone's a capitalist, because if you're talking about ideology, then you're talking about motives. And so if you're judging Colin by his motives as well, and the actions along with the motives to judge him to be a capitalist, then that's totally well-founded. You have every right to do so in that. So yeah. I learned.
And you guys are saying, but technically, in the overall scheme of things, since he doesn't control anything in a mass, then he's not a technical textbook definition of a capitalist.
It's like this. I know you know a lot of pro players and stuff like that, right?
And they capitalists like a mug, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and they're rich. Hey, and they're all rich until the capitalists show up. Like when the owner hits the building, you know what I mean? You could be hanging out with Zeke and he's rich. But when Jerry Jones walks in the building, the tone changes.
It changes. It changes.
You're talking to it's a totally different. You on a different level. If you're in the meeting with Zeke, you're doing something. That's great. If you're in a meeting with Jerry Jones, you're doing something. You're doing something totally different.
Okay, look at what's going on with those two people right now. It's both capitalism at play. Zeke wants more money before his contract. His contract ain't up. He signed a contract saying you'll get paid this amount of money. Now he's like, I want more money. And Jerry Jones is like, I'm not giving you more money. They're two capitalists practicing capitalism.
No, one is a worker striking.
No, but listen.
The organization is saying we're not giving you more money. That's it.
Okay. And one is you call it a worker striking. I call it a producer not giving what he produces. I'm not going to come on the field and produce any touchdowns for you if you don't pay me.
And that's the beautiful thing about capitalism as well. You can see where the workers are being exploited. See, Zeke, if you believe he deserves more money, then you would agree he's being exploited for his production. If you can be exploited for your production, you are not a capitalist.
Okay, now could Zeke be trying to exploit the NFL or exploit his team based on what he thinks they need, trying to squeeze more money out of them?
He's applying the pressure that the only tool that he has, because basically if the Cowboys decide to just ignore his phone calls, hit the ig button, and he don't want to come, he's either going to come back to work or he's going to sit out. But the leverage is truly in the hands of the Cowboys on that. If you want, you know what I mean? If you want Zeke, you're going to pay him, right? Or you can wait and just hope he cracks. Because why? You got more capital than him. The Cowboys, you're never going to be bigger than the Cowboys, Zeke. So the Cowboys are the Cowboys, with or without.
I agree. Le'Veon Bell did it last year and it worked for him. He went to another team. But look.
Remember Le'Veon Bell? What happened with him? He went the whole season.
Yeah, and then he went to another team. He chose to sit the whole season. That was his leverage, and he ended
up all that money.
And he made it up going to another team. He just rewrote that on his.
You know, it's the NFL. You know, you can't get a season back though. Season worth of money. You can't get
it Robert, trust me. Yes, you can, baby. Yes, you can. Look, go pull up his contract and look at the incentives. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? They could make it up.
He got big pay. He got big pay.
They're very crafty in how they do things, is because people and look, they could do that because in the NFL, you're an independent contractor. You are an employee, but you're also an employee of your own. That's why you could decide, I don't want to play. You see what I'm saying? Even with a contract, because you're an independent contractor. But like I said, man, look, best of luck. And I think that Colin Kaepernick is a capitalist. Now, look, I didn't ever say that every capitalist venture he has is bad. I think that he should squeeze the NFL for every damn dime he can. I might not have mentioned that, but he's still a capitalist.
Oh yeah, definitely take every player. I hope Zeke gets a new contract. I hope that when the CBA come up, I hope the NFL players stick it to him, because basketball, they did it. They did their thing. They got half of their television revenue, and they making record contracts, ridiculous amounts of money now, because they stood up and said, look, we are the reason.
You know and they have a bigger ownership stake than the people in the NFL. And it's people to break that ownership stake up with. You see what I'm trying to say? That's why when they play so long, they get that pension. They have an ownership stake in that team or in that league. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. This was fun. I wish Prince was still here. Like I said, I learned something. I hope the people that was here got to learn something. If you guys can, you guys share. Let people know what we're doing. Look, we brought 3 of the shows on today, and we have a streaming radio station that we're about to start. It should be up and going sometime in the next week. I've been working tirelessly on it, as a matter of fact, and it's called Soapbox Heroes Radio. You'll be able to download it and play it and listen to it streaming. So we're going to have 24-hour content. So we need some more content providers. And of course, we're going to have the Best Case Scenario podcast and meme knowledge. But yeah, you guys. So I hope you guys have a good Sunday morning. We decided to get it started for you. And yeah, Robert, you got something you want to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Check us out. Best Case Scenario podcast every Saturday at noon, and meme knowledge every Thursday at 9 o'clock. So make sure you're checking us out. Also, again, capitalism sucks. So look deeper into it.
Greenland,
poor people poor and makes the rich people super rich. And it's happening to you right now. If you live in America, you watch this from America. So
wait. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is Colin Kaepernick signing to Nike, helping keeping poor people poor and help keeping the rich people super rich?
No.
Get out of here. Get out of here, Robert. Get out of here. Do you know how much his products cost?
But wait a minute. But poor people aren't buying his products. Poor people are not buying his products.
Well, because they can't. Because he's keeping the rich people rich. But poor people are I won't say poor people, but a lot of poor people are the people who are following him. And they do try to buy his products. They do try to go out and buy Kaepernick jerseys and whatever he put out. They try, but he don't care about them not being able to afford it. See, that's what's cracking me up.
Go get you some Shaqs.
Yeah, you should, but that's what's cracking me up. You guys are trying to make it like this guy don't have any capitalistic intentions when all of his intentions have been capitalistic after the knee. Before the knee,
I bet you this though, if Kaepernick went over to Nike and said we need to make the price of these things cheaper, you know what Nike gonna say?
They probably Cap. And you know what he and look and the reason and the fact that he didn't do that is because he's a capitalist. He don't give a damn about the prices. He could have went over to Puma and said, look, I want to have some control in the prices. Or he could have been like Stephon Marbury and created his own. And that's my thing too, Robert. We got everybody keep talking about with that chicken sandwich. We need to build our own. We need to build our own. But then you guys want to applaud them every time they run back to the table. He's not trying to. How come he's not getting He had a perfect opportunity to build his own apparel line. He's seen how to do it. It worked. He sold out at 30,000 jerseys in 20 seconds. 15 minutes for $200 a piece. He knows how to do it.
You don't want to make enemies with Nike
by
starting your own business. No.
Well, see, this is my thing. So
put you in the commercials, you're gonna capitalize off of us, and you think you're gonna just make they got ways of dealing with them.
But that's my point. He dealt with them because he's a capitalist. He wanted to make that money. To me, it would have been more powerful to go do something with the same people you protesting for. Otherwise, you ain't doing no good. And then I understand he got the camps, the know your rights camps. I know my rights. I know there's been plenty of people knew their rights. They got their ass shot by the police. Knowing your rights ain't what stops you from getting shot.
But it helps.
Yeah, sometimes it help you to get your ass whooped. Knowing too much. Yeah, you know that. Talking too much. Well, my rights say this. Boop, boop, boop. You get beat. You see what I'm saying? So that's not changing nothing. That's like when we give these football camps. I realized that this ain't really changing these kids' lives. I mean, it's giving them something to do, but to change somebody's life, you have to infiltrate the system and start your own system or do something to where they can intrinsically capitalize off of it and keep capitalizing off of it. But like, if I hand you a can of soup, that's not making your life better. That's making your life better.
You got a camp out there in Houston?
A what?
You got a camp out there in Houston?
We do football camps.
Yeah, that do change kids' lives, man.
It does, but you know what I mean. I mean, like
I know football taught a lot of stuff, Tyrone.
Yeah, it did, but I mean systemically. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking on a
two-prong. We touch individuals, and we attack pillars of and institutions that are destructive systematically. We have to do them both at the same time, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think we're doing a lot of the individual stuff, like we're handing people cans of soup, but we're not teaching them how to make their own soup per se, or we're not leaving them with the opportunities to make a soup. So like right now,
to vote for people that are doing that because sometimes it's about power. That's why you got to put the people in power. So vote for Bernie Sanders because he actually attacks the institutions, bam, while you're touching the individuals. So it is what it is.
Right. Greeland said that Greeland said that he can't watch this without having a rebuttal. So I'm gonna let Greeland get his rebuttal. But yeah, man. Hey, Robert, I want to thank you for coming on. I don't know what happened to P. Maybe his phone went dead. But it was fun for a Sunday morning to come, mix it up. And people think just because I talk loud that I'll be bad. Nah, hell no. Nah.
Old school soapbox heroes, vintage soapbox heroes today.
Yeah, vintage. And these are my boys. And so we be having these conversations online, offline. And that's the cool part again. You guys really get to see how we think. And we're honest. I think that we are very honest to our own convictions, each of us. And that's the great part about it. So, hey, you guys, I'm going to end it with this. I still think Colin Kaepernick is a capitalist. Robert, I think he's a capitalistic ideology with his ideology, but not
the capital idealist.
Idealist. Okay, you know what? I can almost give you that. I can almost give you that.
In a perfect world, Cap would feel like he would be a capitalist in a perfect world.
Okay, well, let me ask you one more question. Instead of signing with Nike, if he decided to create his own shoe brand and do something positive within his own community, would that have made him a capitalist because he would have been a producer?
If he could have bought his own production and controlled his own means of production, he'd have been a capitalist. He would have just been a benevolent capitalist. There's not, there's good ones, there's bad ones. It's not a bad word to be a capitalist by any means. It's just that capitalism, you see the results. And
it's just when capitalism turns ugly. Capitalism turns ugly. Man, I wish Pete, I'm hoping Pete would jump back on because he asked me who I think Colin Kaepernick sold out, and I was going to give him some answers, but I wait. But there you guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Robert he over their phone closed. I know the kids want to come love on daddy. I'm about to run away from my kids and so on. Hey, y'all, have a wonderful day. We'll get what you guys.
All right, take it easy, man.
Peace.